100% sure. I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter that much, right? It's not like you're gonna use these. You might want to, but you're not, so, you know, this is really just for fun more than anything else. And one last thing before we get into the individual Glitchmons, I will be taking these Pokemon's crit rates into consideration. I completely forgot about this in the Red and Blue video, but in Generation 1, a Pokemon's crit rate is dictated by its base speed stat. And the formula to figure it out is really, really simple, even for someone like me, who is a complete and utter fumble when it comes to any kind of math. So we're going to talk about these Pokemon in order of base stat total, starting with the lowest base stat total and moving up to the highest base stat total. And that means that first off, we have not MissingNo. That's right. In Red and Blue, MissingNo had the lowest base stat total of all Glitchmons at 204, but in Pokemon Yellow, that's not the case. Instead, the Glitchmon with the lowest base stat total in Pokemon Yellow is this delightful little cherub, who I'm going to call Pacump. Pacump is a poison glitch type, so essentially a poison type, and that's bad as we all know. This is Gen 1 after all. However, that's the least of this thing's worries. This Pokemon has an absolutely embarrassing base stat total of 112, and 104 of that go into its defense stat. So, yeah, things aren't looking good right off the bat. This is well and truly a nothing Pokemon. Yeah, you've got a pretty decent defense stat, but it's dragged down by your base HP stat of 2, and you end up having only slightly more physical bulk than fucking Alakazam, which is not a high bar whatsoever. And obviously, because of your special stat of 1, your special bulk is basically non-existent. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool that you probably don't get 2-hit KO'd by a Tauros Body Slam, but when Tauros' Blizzard does 99% minimum, it's hard to be happy about that. It's hard to even, like, recommend things for this Pokemon to do. I think the closest it can come to achieving something is clicking Seismic Toss or Nightshade, because those are set damage moves. This Pokemon does learn Self-Destruct, but unless you're fighting Chansey, it will always do less damage than Seismic Toss or Nightshade because of your abysmal attack stat. And even versus Chansey, it doesn't break 30%, which is fucking embarrassing. Other than that, I really don't think this Pokemon can achieve anything ever. It might be tempting to run Reflect to boost your only decent stat, but the thing with Reflect is that taking advantage of it kind of requires living more than one turn, so I think that's off the table. No joke, I think your best option is Leer. Just click Leer, maybe lower the opponent's defense if you live, and then whatever comes in after you've died can maybe take advantage of that, or take advantage of the switch. I don't know. This thing is genuinely miserable, and it might just be the weakest Pokemon ever. It's hard to say, but fuck, it's a contender. Also, just as icing on the cake, because of this Pokemon's base speed stat of 3, this Pokemon has a crit rate of about 0.6%. Good for them. Good for them. Next up, we have a Pokemon I'm going to call RR4. And interestingly enough, this is a Water-type glitch Pokemon. And I think it's the first Water-type glitch Pokemon we've talked about, including the ones from the Red and Blue video. However, this Pokemon isn't exactly good at taking advantage of the fact that it's a Water-type, because, just like Pacump, this Pokemon has a base special stat of 1. This means that while it does actually have access to Stab Surf, it's outdamaged by fucking Rhydon's Surf, which is pretty damn embarrassing. This Pokemon has a legitimately decent attack stat of 94, and a speed stat that is technically